We did not have to do this. We did not have to play this game. We did not have to do what we're about to do. But some of these people want to try to abuse us, and they want to try to manipulate us. And although we can see and appreciate their role that they have to play in our spiritual awakening, that does not mean that we are not going to fight in our totality and shock them with the full sack power. Man, these people, some of these people really need to be learned a lesson. Like, they need to embody the learned lesson. And the only way that we're going to do that, collectively, I'm speaking collectively, the only way that we can embody a lesson is sometimes to learn the hard way. Sometimes we have to and we have to be the hard way. We don't want to be the hard way. But if they're going to try to play these games, we have to be the lesson for them. And with a full sack, man, just shock them. Shock them with your full sack. Who the cares? Walk around with your balls of steel. Come. Like, I'm laughing because it's just, man, the vitality is so real right now. The life, the vigorous force. And I'm doing it in its totality, trusting and understanding and understanding that it's not going to be forever. I'm not clinging to this. I'm not. I'm just recognizing that this is part of the process. We're all part of our own comings to the soul of existence in our own way. And although it can be very challenging sometimes for us or for other people to recognize this, the beauty of life really is in the temporariness quality, where we can tap into that frequency of life in of itself. And when we need to act, like act totally. And I don't mean act as in like, be an actor, but know that you're performing the act. You're not attached to the act itself. Like, there's a great verse in the Bhagavad Gita I read earlier today. Like, sometimes in the mornings before a meditation, I'll read like a couple lines of any book that's really calling to me, whether it's, Carl Jung or Alan Watts or Martin Heidegger, Being in Time, whatever it is that I'm feeling. And today it was the Bhagavad Gita. And it says, this is a very unique and very interesting point. It says, every selfless act is born from Brahman, the eternal infinite Godhead. And Brahman is present in every act of service. For all life turns on this law. And those who violate it, indulging the senses for their own pleasure and ignoring the needs of others, have wasted their life. But those who realize the self are always satisfied. Having found the source of joy and fulfillment, they no longer seek happiness from the external world, for they have nothing to gain or lose by any action, and neither people nor things can affect their security. Boy, are you ready to embody that? Are you ready to embody that? Can you truly see that no person or thing is really affecting your security? You're always safe. And that's why you intimidate them and shock these people with your full sack power, man. Like, when you trust that you yourself are safe, and if they're going to try to, do certain things, it doesn't mean be a coward. It doesn't mean be, just lay down and pass out and die. It doesn't mean that. It means, and it doesn't mean be tolerant either. It means love your neighbor as yourself, like Christ would say, right? Like, and he does say, can you love your neighbor as yourself? Can you turn the other cheek? And what does that even mean? Do you know what he means? And a lot of people would say, oh, I definitely know what he means. Well, so are you Christ? And the answer is yes, actually. But it's also like, well, you were not the one speaking, so can you fully understand what he was saying there? I don't know. Maybe you can. Maybe you can tap into the frequency of being Christ. That's something to think about or to not think about, depending on how you view it. But really, this is just the spirit of the time just is calling me to feel like being Rambo, man. Like, it's like we just wanted to be left alone. We just wanted to be left alone. And now we're going to have to intimidate and shock you. I don't like it. I don't like having to be fierce. And yet at the same time, I don't really care to not like it or to like it. I just am. What we have to embody more in the spirit of the time is less thinking, less I thinks, less I think this, I think that, more I am. Because this is going to ground us into who we are and what we are and why we are. You know what's crazy, by the way? I've been wanting to talk about this for a couple days, but it just, now's the time, apparently in the spirit of the moment. I have seen so many white butterflies recently. I am sure that if you've seen ladybugs or white butterflies recently, this message is absolutely for you. Because I've seen white butterflies more times than I can count. Like, seriously, I've seen so many of them over the past couple of days. Ever since I went to the river and my little sanctuary. Well, everywhere's my sanctuary, but my physical, quote unquote, sanctuary up in the canyon, just a 10-minute drive. I went there the other day, and ever since then, I've seen white butterflies everywhere. Like, everywhere I go, I see white butterflies. They're very beautiful creatures, There's something so pure and innocent about butterflies. It reminds me of why women get butterfly tattoos. Because women get butterfly tattoos because they want to reclaim that, that sense of purity, that sense of, coming out of the cocoon into a new phase of life. And yet, by the same notion, by the same token, most of the time it's nothing different. It's nothing new. Usually, it's just more of the same. And that's really all life is, I've discovered this by not trying to discover it recently, is that life is really more of the same all the time. It's just expressed in different ways. And this is why I make it's not even a claim, it's just what I see in the spirit of the moment. What I see is that we are all one soul, expressing itself in different forms. And so I actually had a call recently with someone in a one-on-one session, and we were talking about the difference between personality and soul. And this person said, yeah, because personality is just the accumulation of your timelines, basically, that you've lived on in this incarnation, essentially. It's like, that's exactly what personality is. So you can change your personality at any point in time, really. You can. You don't have to be the same way, but that's kind of what makes life fun, It's just what your style is. There's no longer like your personality. It's just a style, Like, Led Zeppelin had a style. The Beatles had a style. All these people had, like, all these artists, I'm speaking about artists specifically because that's, like, Pablo Picasso has a style, right? These people all had styles, but they first learned the basics first. Even in martial arts, have you ever seen Jackie Chan movies or Jet Li movies? Jet Li's Fearless is one of the best movies for martial arts I've ever seen. It has a very soft place in my heart for it. I love that movie very much. It's also heartbreaking. But Jackie Chan movies like The Drunken Master, one of the great martial art movie. Bruce Lee had a style, And I also don't think it's any coincidence. I saw the other day, I'll have to check if this is actually the case, but Bruce Lee, he was actually born at the hour of the dragon in the year of the dragon, allegedly. I don't know if that's the case, but I'm gonna have to do some look into the astrological charts and Chinese horoscope charts for that, because that would be very interesting. My intuition says yes, but I'd like to confirm it, simply because I'm curious. Maybe somebody can confirm that in the comments, but otherwise, this is the thing about this world that we live in, is it's become so weak. And I don't mean this like in a derogatory sense, right? Like, I'm not clinging to anything here, because trying to cling to anything is don't do it. Don't even cling to your full sack. As great balls of steel as they are, don't cling to it, because they just are what they are. Man, what a crazy world we live in. We live in a time where people really feel entitled to abuse you. Isn't that crazy? They feel, and they feel like they can legally get away with it. It's like, you cannot do that. You cannot abuse people legally or illegally and get away with it. There are spiritual laws in place that are the way, and it's not even a law. I don't like calling it a law. It's more like, it's the essence of being and of itself. And this goes back to the Bhagavad Gita, right? Because he who has realized the self has nothing to gain or lose by any action. You have nothing to gain or lose. And neither people nor things can affect your security. So the task then that we have is, when these things happen, and we are intimidating people, whether intentionally or unintentionally, and we're shocking them intentionally or unintentionally, how can we be more present? How can we come back to just this moment? Like, even right now, go ahead and take a breath after you gently close your eyes. Breathe in through your nose for 3 seconds and out for 5. And one more time. Okay. Now, did you notice the temperature of your breath? Did you notice how the density of your body really kind of pulled you into your seat? Did you notice how maybe the vision that you had when you closed your eyes wasn't quite dark? Did you notice these things, or were you just so focused on the breath? You see, life happens with what we give attention to. And sometimes we have no other option than just to accept what is, and then divert our attention and just go back to what we want to create. Because we are curators and creators of our own life. This is the case. We live in a space where the past and the future are right here, right now. And this is something else I mentioned to the person on a one-on-one session earlier. It's always now. Now is the essence of timelessness. Now is timelessness. But time exists in certain frames of thought and concept to make it easier for us as incarnations to recognize what's actually going on. And now, I can start this, this film, this video, being fired up and just ready to go out and fight totally, be like frickin' Rambo. Like, all we wanted to do was be left the fucking alone. And all you had to do was leave us alone. But there will be a time for that. There will be a time for that. It's like what the Bible says. There's a time, there's a time to to sow, there's a time to reap, there's a time to do this, there's a time to do that. There's always a time under heaven, there's always a time to do something. But if you think about heaven not as like a place, but as an essence of timelessness, because I don't think that thinking about heaven and hell as places is always going to be helpful. Like, it may or may not be true from your perspective, sure. But is it going to be helpful in the now? Not really. So think about heaven and hell as qualities. Think about them as qualities of being in which you can tune into as a frequency. So do you want to keep creating hellishness? Or do you want to curate heavenliness and transmute all of that negative energy? Because even that's a title, right? Negative or positive. It just is. And that's exactly what the Bhagavad Gita is saying here, where it says, they have nothing to gain or lose by any action. Neither people nor things can affect their security. Because what's danger to the one who is got a full sack and grounded in timelessness? And I'll leave you with that. So, peace be with you. Be blessed. If you're interested in making that total transformation into godlike mastery, and you have the finances and the time to invest in yourself, now's the time. I'm not the educator. I'm not the master. I'm not the God. And yet, I am the godliness. I am the mastery education. I am the healing. So, if you're interested in doing that total transformation, the godlike mastery is going to be for you. Otherwise, you can join the Regal Academy, where we have a group of people who are like-minded, but also very free-spirited. We're like-minded in a way that we're not like-minded. We just are. And we just are with each other. And that's very pleasant. And we have group calls. I've got another class coming up. I've got a live class on this Sunday, June 21st, I believe. And that'll be the social norms versus stoic and agape love, and the compares and contrasts of each of those. And so I'll be doing a live class then on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And I only do those about once a month now, maybe once every other month. But we have weekly group calls every week apart from the classes. Otherwise, the classes are all on your own time. You do them as you want to do them when you want to do them. They're just freely available tools for you. Otherwise, be blessed. Peace. Until next time.